Spotty dog.
Right.
Park the bus. Oh, keep that there because I will lose track of it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, mate, pleasure. And I absolutely, I appreciate Earl
Yes.
for connecting us, because the moment you talked about your story around walking around the UK for your mental health, you know, it was prescribed you by your GP to
Pretty much.
get
yeah.
out and walk.
Yeah.
And literally, like, all he had to tell me was that was what you were doing, and I was like, absolutely need to speak to Terry about this.
Yeah.
So if
No
you
problem.
just want to just dive in and just tell me a little bit more about how you've ended up walking around the UK, where you started, and, you know, where it all bubbled up from.
Right. It started off. I got into some pretty bad, serious health issues. Alcohol, way too much. I mean, I was drinking spirits, you know, and I was just pickling myself, feeling really, really sorry for myself. Everything was going wrong. My work situation was absolutely awful. I got myself a hernia, so I couldn't lift the panels in work, which caused friction in work, and I had a mini stroke, which caused me to have my CPC license taken off of me, because you're not allowed to drive after you've had a little stroke. So I basically lost my job. When I lost my job, I lost my house, and that was with my ex-partner. So we went our separate ways. I literally ended up almost homeless, and basically I was looking for somewhere to sleep, and I accidentally walked through a place with an alarm on it. It was an old abandoned motorway service station on the old Severn Bridge, and I walked through it. I didn't realise. I set off the alarms, and the police come down, and what are you doing here, blah blah, chucked me in the back of the car, and I said, I'm homeless, I'm just looking for somewhere warm to stay. And he said, you got any family? I said, yeah, I got my sister. Went back, he took me back to my sister's house. They were away for the weekend, so I put my tent up in their garden, and when they come back the next day, they said, oh yeah, you can stay here, we'll look after you for a bit. And things were just not very nice. I mean, me and my sister were like chalk and cheese. You know, we're totally opposite people. And basically, I was feeling pretty sorry for myself, and I was staring at 4 walls, white walls, in my sister's house, in the spare bedroom, going mad, and thinking, oh my God, what has my life come to? I was 58. I just turned 58 then. It was just after my 58th birthday, and I thought to myself, I've achieved absolutely nothing. All my life I've achieved absolutely nothing. And I thought, well, first things first, get yourself out the house, get yourself, I mean, this is obviously in contact with my doctor, who introduced me to a care worker who helped me out with me, with my mental health, because they said, obviously, you're not in a good place at the moment. You need help. You need sorting yourself out. And I said, well, what can I do? And she said, well, take yourself out for a nice long walk, and clear your head. Get yourself out of the house, because she said, staring at 4 walls is going to send you mad. Right, so I started walking, and over the course of the next few weeks, I went out, got myself a little tent, and I thought, this is all right, this is. Getting myself, I was feeling better in myself, you know, getting fresh air, out, not staring at the four walls. And I thought, right, I can sort my new life out. So I put my rucksack on my back, put my tent on my back, and I walked 70 miles from Bristol to Minehead. I left my sister's house at June the 2nd, 2023. I said, I'm off, I'm going to look for a job, I'm going to, you know, try and do something, you know. I said, I don't know when I'll be back. So I started walking, and I applied for about 20 jobs in all the caravan parks, all down the southwest of England, all along the, like, Weston-super-Mare, all that area. Great big caravan parks everywhere, and I thought, get a job on a caravan park, A, you get a roof over your head, because they'll give you a place. B, I got a job. Wow, brilliant. Went in the first place. Right, health, not good. Just had a stroke. Address, well, care of, you know, my sister's house, so I've got no fixed abode really. And they just told me, sorry, we're not interested. Sorry, we're not interested. Sorry, and that I went for like 20 odd jobs in 3 weeks. Got myself to Minehead, which is like the biggest pontins in the country. It's huge. And I got up to the gate and I thought, right, this is my last chance. I'm going to go in, I'm going to apply for a job. Walked up to the gate, security guard come out, said, what do you want? I said, is there any jobs going? Have you got an appointment? No. Have you got any jobs going? If you haven't got an appointment, you're not coming in. All right, whatever. He wouldn't even let me through the gate to ask anybody if there was any jobs going. And I thought, oh my God, I just spent 3 weeks just being rejected and rejected and rejected. And just outside of the pontins on the seafront is the start of the Southwest Coast Path, which is, everybody knows now, is the salt path. And I was stood there, I was looking at the monument, and this little old guy come down, and he said, he seen me with my rucksack, he said, oh, are you here to walk the path? And I went like that, and I stood up, and there was like a metal thing across the path, and I went, yep, and I took one step. And that was nearly 2 years ago, and from that one step, I walked the entire coast of the UK. Just for me. And, you know, because when I started walking, I started meeting people, I started talking, and I felt better. And after a while, I couldn't get a smile off my face from being so down and so, you know, thinking to yourself, oh my God, what else can I do? What else can I try to go and, wow, look at this. And the stuff I've seen, the wildlife, the scenery, the people I met have been absolutely incredible. It's been absolutely incredible. I totted up the mileage, 3,773 miles from Bristol to Bristol via every single bit of the coast, and the hundreds of people, thousands of people I met on the way. It's been absolutely mind-blowing. I've always loved walking all my life, you know, always been, you know, my holidays have been out adventuring and climbing mountains and stuff. Only in this country, you know, going up around Scotland and visiting all these wonderful places. I've been to most of the country before, but it's always been in a vehicle. And when I started walking it, and I thought, can I? Bang! And it was like it was like an amazing moment where it was, it just, it was like a release. And it made me feel like, oh my God, I can actually do something in my life to be proud of. Started walking, and when I got to the end, a good friend of mine that I met on the path, phoned her. She finished a couple of weeks before me. I give her a tinkle, and I said to her, I finished. She said, well done. She said, with that bloody rucksack on your back, because she called it R2D2. Because I got my tent, I got my cooker, I got my food, I got my water, I got my sleeping bag, I got, it's my whole
Must be
life.
some weight as well when you're walking around with that on then.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, you do see a lot of people, they go, say, yeah, I've walked this path, I've walked that path, yeah. They're staying in bed at breakfast and they get a day pack on and they get a bloody luggage taken to the next hotel in a taxi. That's cheating.
And you're there looking around your house and your cooker.
And that is all on there, and I've done the whole coast, all in one go, start to finish, with one rucksack on.
So then going back to when you were, because did you say you were 50?
I was 58 when I
58
started.
when you started?
Yeah, just after my birthday.
So what did you feel before you started walking? Like, what was like, like...
I didn't know.
In terms of like your mental health, like how low did you feel? Like where were you at with that?
The thing is, when you lose your... Right, the health thing was my fault. I used to drink too much. End of, there's no getting away from that. That caused me to lose my job. When I lost my job, I lost my house. When I lost my job, I lost my relationship.
Like a domino effect.
And the whole world just went, and it was just like this massive spiral. And I was literally, there was a tiny little hole out the bottom that I was just about to fall out of. It wasn't good. It was not a good place.
Did that all take you by surprise? Because I can imagine. Like, how did you feel before that happened? Did you feel quite confident in yourself, being like, oh, everything's all right?
I've been fine all my life.
Yeah.
I've been fine all my life, and I spent a lot of time where there was, you'd sit down and you say, oh yeah, somebody's committed suicide, and you'd sit down and you say, well, what would go through your mind in order to take your own life? You can't get your head around it. Until all of a sudden, you get that nasty little thing where you lose everything and you go, this isn't very nice. And you sort of lose faith a bit and you go, oh God, two ways out of this. I could either have it all over and done with a long drop with a little bang at the end, or...
It's quite jarring because I've definitely been there, and like not in a similar position, but like in terms of looking around and feeling like I've got everything under control up here. I think I'm all right, and then all of a sudden something just swipes your legs from underneath you, and you're like,
yeah,
how's this happened? Where did this come from?
That's not fair.
Yeah.
That is not fair. Yeah. It's not fair.
No.
Tempted. Just having a little sniff.
Yeah,
'cause it's quite jarring as well.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell! So that's
Jesus where I've been.
Christ.
Yeah, every single point.
You'll have to send me that so I can show it up on the video one. But that is incredible. There's not an inch of the coastline that you haven't touched in the UK.
No, I've done the whole lot. Every single bit. Every single bit. Yeah, and I got, like I said, I got
photos after photos of coastline.
Pages and pages and pages.
Just going through that, all you see is just blue skies, green scenes, like... Bloody hell, I mean, that looks like you might as well be in Madeira there, how blue the ocean is, Jesus.
Yes. That's what makes me smile now. That is definitely what makes me smile.
And and I know you'd walked before and you'd like been on all these walking holidays, but before you did this walk for your mental health and to kind of get you back on track and to find that purpose, had you ever looked at the outdoors and recognised that, like, oh, like there's something there's something in the outdoors, there's something in being out in nature that does something to me, or did you just kind of take it for granted?
I've always loved nature. I've always lived in the countryside, and I mean, all the birds and everything. I could tell you what birds singing now and all the rest of it. I've been in the RSPB since I was 12.
Okay.
1977.
So you know your birds.
Yeah. That's a goal.
He's a professional. We've got
him. It's spot on. Yeah. It's just, but the thing is, I mean, it's stuff like flowers and trees. That's a nutty thing as well, because as I'm walking around, and I do now get excited about all this stuff, because it's...
You can name it, you can understand it, you can...
Yeah, but it's what's made me happy, actually seeing this, instead of 4 white walls in a bedroom. I'm out and I'm listening to this bird song.
Yeah. Well, it's funny as well that you like love the outdoors as much as you do, but it took you to go to your GP to remind you that go outdoors.
Yeah. And the thing is, I mean, my doctor, he was a lovely chap, he turned around and he suggested to me, he said, you need to get yourself fit. So lay off the alcohol, lay off everything, knock it all on the head, go out, get yourself some fresh air, and go out, get yourself fit. And then you know, what with losing everything, I was struggling with paperwork and, you know, trying, oh God, that's gone wrong, that's gone wrong, that's gone wrong. No, and I had all this paperwork piling up with, you know, stuff with rent and houses and everything, you know, you're liable for this. And it was like, oh, for God's sake, you know, and it was like, oh my God, I just don't need this.
And I suppose in situations like that where the dominoes start to fall, and you know all you know, rent's due and things are due and payments are due and all of this, like that kind of domino effect, and seeing all that paperwork pile up, and that must just kind of leave you in a place where you kind of think, you know. And I know this from a different perspective, but like when things do get on top of you, like instantly, it's kind of like you go to that place of like, well, like you said earlier, there's like 1 or 2 options. See, I can either, you know, the only way is through, or, you know, I just do something, you know, that I don't want to do. But in my head, it's the easiest option to take, because fundamentally, if I wasn't here, I wouldn't have any issues to deal with.
I just had a funny little analogy, right? If you can imagine yourself, right, in a grain silo, right, and they're sucking the seed out the bottom like that, and you're here, and you can feel yourself getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's getting up to here, and you're going, I'm gonna die in a minute. What do I do? Do I just shut my eyes and just let it take me, or do I struggle and get myself out of it and do something? And touch wood, I think I've done it. I think I've done it.
And initially starting that process of struggling through and like making that decision to struggle through, how did that feel, kind of being like, no, I'm going to do it?
It's been emotional. It's I don't think I've cried so many times in the last 2 years of what I have in my whole entire life put together. And 9 times out of 10, it's it's tears of joy where people have done so many good things for me and helped me out so much, and I thank them, and I started crying, and I can't help it, because it means so much when people help and people have got that heart and they turn around and they go, oh my God, that is beautiful. And it's, when somebody just, which the tiniest little things, when people just turn around and they're chatting or whatever, and they say, oh, it's ridiculous. I can now, I can talk to anybody. It's one of those things where you used to walk along with your head down, not say hello to anybody.
And had you ever felt that level of joy and maybe received that level of help prior
No,
to everything going on? Or was it
No.
kind of like the reality of after the fact that you're like, oh my God, like,
yeah.
it's
I
lovely
think
to
that
finally
people,
receive this and
yeah,
be
but
open to it?
people, I think they, people can actually feel and they can relate to somebody that needs help. They, you know, we're all on this planet. You know, it's a lovely thing to help each other and get on with each other, and it's just an amazing thing. It's a beautiful thing for, if you know, if in the future, if my life will get sorted out, I'd love to be able to help other people exactly the same as people that help me. I've had so many people help me. It's just been incredible. It's just been incredible, and it's literally. I know it sounds silly, but it's literally saved my life.
And do you have like, and
It's literally saved my life.
this might be a big question and hard to kind of answer because you've met so many people, but do you have one person or one moment where like the help that they gave just really kind of meant just that little bit more?
Yeah, I can. When I met my friend James the first time, I just got over the Scottish border. I was about 1,900 miles into my walk, and walked over the Scottish border, and just over the border there's a little pub called the First and Last. And I thought, oh, I'm in Scotland. I've just walked to Scotland from Bristol via Land's End. I'm going to have a celebratory pint going in the first.
Naturally, when you're out walking and hiking.
Yes. Well,
First
it's there. First and last. First and last pub. So I took a photo, a little selfie of me with the Scottish border behind, and then went in the pub, which is where I met James. Walked through the door, same time as me. I stood there with my rucksack, and he said, "Whoa," he said, "that looks heavy." Start of every conversation I've had in the last 2 years. That looks heavy. Yep. That's my life. And then he offered me a room for the night. He was, he had a place up there. And he said, we're only up the road. He said, do you want to come in? He said, you can have a shower and all the rest of it. It was fantastic. We sat round that evening, called in the off licence, got some tinnies, and we met over the course of the next year. And he visited me, and we met each other and all the rest of it. And then I went back over for Christmas this year when it was really cold. He invited me over, looked after me. And then I went back to Carlisle from Newcastle and then finished my journey. And then as soon as I got home and my family didn't want anything to do with me, I just turned around. I phoned James. I said, I just had some bad news. He said, the family don't want anything to do with me. He said, get yourself up here. And that was it. Bang. Here I am. I've been here a couple of, what's that, about 10 days now, something like that.
So it's partly serendipitous, but thanks to James that you're here, and then also thanks to Earl
Yeah,
that I got to meet you.
Yeah.
Was
yeah.
that like a wonderful thing to think that just in those
And the
just
thing is, because
chance meetings
yeah.
and the conversations that you maybe wouldn't have normally had, that
yeah,
we get to be here
I
and
know
having this conversation, and
it's incredible.
it's wonderful.
It is incredible.
But yeah, just dive into all these beautiful people that you've met, because I want to go back to when you were talking about feeling joy again, and meeting all these wonderful people. Like, what's that been like since you've because it's only so you started walking in 2023.
Yeah, 2 years.
And if we kind of think about it, like you're how old now?
60.
60.
Yeah.
So that's really 2023. That's like 2 to 3 years of experience, and these beautiful, joyful moments.
Yeah.
Like, that must be
Yeah, it is
so
incredible.
lovely to, like, I don't know, reach a space or a moment where it feels just so, like, it feels like it does now.
Yeah, I know. That is the most amazing thing. I'd love to write my book, but I've got to get myself sorted out on where I'm staying and stuff like that first, because it's a little bit more important. But I'd love to, as soon as I'm happy, sat down, relaxed, in a little stable place of my own, and I'll sit down and I'll write my book, and hopefully it should be like, the past half hour of us chatting. It will be like that right the way through the book. It will be an open and honest account of who I am, what I've lost, what I've gained, and how can I help in the future. Because I've had so many people, so many lovely people help me out and been so nice to me and so kind. It's been incredible.
But that must be like lush to have moments like that, where, because I'd imagine at times, or you tell me,
Yeah.
like when you're walking on your own, like, does it get lonely sometimes? Because it must be nice in moments of, like, when you've walking around for however long, like, to get to a moment where you're having full-on belly laughs.
That's the thing. That's the thing. If when you're walking, you can make that decision. If you're there and you think to yourself, I just want a quiet night tonight, you just have a quiet night and you find yourself somewhere nice and peaceful, quiet, birds singing, all the rest of it. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It would be, you imagine just shutting your eyes now and you got that.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. If you want it, it's there. Just go out and you go, I'll have quite a night tonight. There it is. If you want to go out and have a belly laugh, go down, find a local little pub full of nutcases, get on.
Are you one of them?
Yeah.
What's maybe changed since you've started walking? Like, what have you maybe learned about yourself?
I've learned to get on with people and to actually accept that every single person out there is just a friend of yours that you haven't met yet. I know that it sounds like an old bloody cliche thing, but it's really the best way to look at it. If you start making yourself enemies and stuff like that, that's not good. Life's too short for that.
And what were you like before, like, the walking? Like, were you, because you very, like, open to meeting people, open to conversation, but were you a bit more closed off, or were you quite similar?
No, I was completely the opposite. This is what's changed in me. It's the fact that I can sit down, I can open my open myself up. I can talk, and anybody asks me, out it comes. Got nothing to hide. You know, this is me.
And what do you think changed when you started walking that allowed you to become that person?
It's just, you just got to accept what life's dealt. You know, you ain't going to have it good all the time. Nobody does. Nobody does. And if you get to the bad times, get yourself on top of it and sort yourself out. Because you can sit there and you can... I mean, I felt sorry for myself for months and months and months and months, and it was doing me in. It was doing my head right. I just wanted to, you know, sort myself out. And when I started walking is when I discovered that, oh my God, this is all right, this. And then you start bumping into people, you start chatting. And the weirdest thing is when I started walking, I was like one of thousands of people doing the South West Coast Path. I was just one of hundreds of people, just like a tourist, you know, just going round and round and round. But as soon as I went past that path, and I got, like I said, to Basildon. Basildon was 1,000 miles in. When I got to Basildon and I twisted my ankle and ended up in Leon Sea, I started, you sit down and then you expect, I've just walked 1,000 miles, and people are like, what? You've just walked 1,000? Oh yeah, well I'm going to walk another 2,500 to finish yet. I've only just started. And it's like, oh my God. And it's when you put that into context. And the weirdest thing is every mile I done, I didn't regret one single mile of it. I enjoyed every single mile. You know, you've got walking through dirty old towns. You know, I've walked through, I've fallen in rivers. Oh my God, yeah. Fell in a peat bog. Fell in a ditch.
There's not one part of the earth you haven't fallen on.
Yeah, well you do, because I mean, when you get a heavy thing on your back and you start going, when that momentum starts going, you can't.
There's only one way you're going.
Yeah.
That's down.
Yeah, gravity is always a winner. You ain't going to get out of this one.
That's one thing you've learned. Gravity will win.
Yes. When you got a great big rucksack on your back and you start going over it, you ain't going to stop yourself. Yes, I've fallen over in some spectacular places.
And you mentioned before, you know, you wanted to write a book, or you want to write a book. You're going to write a book.
Yeah.
And you said, you know, you want people to know who you are.
Yeah.
Like, who do you think you are? Like, what kind? Who are you?
That's a funny one. Yeah, because you could just call me Forest Legend. That's my nickname on Facebook.
Forest Legend.
The Forest Legend, because when I was in Leon Sea, they called me Forest Gump. I'm going for a walk. Yeah. So they called me Forest down there, and the guys that I met on the South West Coast Path called me the Legend because of what I was doing. So I just made up this name, Forest Legend, and it stuck. So many people call me Forest now. It's quite funny. But yeah, I'm just going out for a walk. Yes.
Don't know when you'll be back.
Yeah, I don't know when I'll be back. Oh my word, yes. Yeah. When I got back, what a surprise. So yes, part 2 now. Let's see what happens in this life.
And where, like, you know, must be hard now to kind of think, because I'd imagine there's no end goal in terms of, oh, I think I want to stop walking by. It's kind of just get up, go out, and find out what happens.
Yeah, I need to get myself sorted out and get myself a proper life back. You know, it's all right wandering around all the time, but you can't do it for all your life. You need, you know, some sort of security.
Yeah.
You need a roof over your head.
And you're kind of
Yeah.
looking for that now then, in terms of just like, right, let's
Yeah.
get a roof,
Yeah.
get a place and a space, and
Yeah.
crack on with the book.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping. I mean, it doesn't even, I know it sounds silly, but it doesn't even matter if it's like something like a camper van or something like that, you know, but as long as it's a place where I can call my own, you know, my own home, that'd be great, because, you know, it's been fantastic walking around the country for 2 years, but you don't live anywhere, you know, you are homeless.
And has that been one of like the hard parts of walking around, like not having like a fixed place, or is that something that's maybe...
it's always something that's in the back of your mind where you're going to go, oh my God. And there's some in the last few weeks of when I was walking, I was getting along the southwest coast, and I could see across the Bristol Channel, I could see where I used to live. I could see the plasterboard factory with the smoke coming out of it, about 30 miles up the estuary. And I thought, oh my word, I'm nearly home. Now what? You know, you think, yeah, it's a bit of a wake-up call. And then when you get back and you think, oh yeah, everything's going to be okay, and it wasn't.
And like, where like feels like home for you now?
Well, I know it sounds silly, but yeah, this area, definitely. I've met so many lovely people up here. It's endless. It's a list of friends I've met up here. It's just absolutely endless. Like I said, I've done 3,700 miles, and the only place I could think of. Where can you go to get your head sorted out? You know, this is all gone bit. You know, I had loads of offers. Come up here, come and see us. Come up here, come and see us. Come up here. And it was all my friends from here, all offering me. We'll look after you. And they have, totally.
And what does that mean, you know, to kind of like finally find like a spot where you're like, right, this could be it. This is where the new chapter begins.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. Yeah, I've got to do my first book. My sore right toe. That's what it's going to be called.
You're going to call it? Yeah, like that.
My sore right toe. As a thing. That's an actual thing. Because when you walk in on the coast path, so I'd done anti-clockwise, you're permanently on a slope down towards the sea. And as you're rolling over on the side like that, you always go over like that, and you always get a sore toe on your little toe there. And I was walking for about a month, and the young lady I met on the path, she said, I got a bloody sore right toe. She said, oh yeah, that's a thing. She said, it's what happens. She says, if you go round the other way, if you start in pool and go up to Minehead, you end up with a sore left toe because you're bending over that way.
That's so funny, I like that.
And the thing is that, and I creased up laughing. I thought that's such a funny thing, and that's what I want to call my book.
And I want to read it.
Yeah, oh, it'd be hilarious. I could
talk with you for bloody hours, but I think we're coming up to probably like an hour of talking. So I'll probably just cool it off here, otherwise, cause you've probably got so many bloody stories to tell. But
I told you I wouldn't shut up.
You've got a life to live, so I've got to let you go at some point. But it's been a pleasure, man. It's been lush talking, and I'm so glad we got introduced just over the phone. Yeah. And I also like the fact that this is the first time that we've met. Yeah. And we've just instantly been able to sit down and chat like this as well, because I think conversations like this, off the bat, are so special. Yeah. So I proper appreciate it, man. It's been lovely.
No, it's good. It's good because, you know, but it's something that I've been introduced to if you don't do it, if it's not off the bat, it doesn't mean anything. You know, if you turn around and you want to try and script something, all the rest of it, yeah, it's great. But it's, you know, oh yeah, you're not allowed to say this, you're not allowed to say that, blah blah blah. What's the point in saying it? Just sit down and chat. You know.
And if you get something wrong, apologise, move on, you know, and learn.
Yeah.
It's been appreciated, man. It's been a pleasure.
So
honestly, it's been a lovely chat, man.
Yeah. Well, no doubt. I mean, you got my number and everything.
Oh,
so,
God. I'll be meeting you again. You best believe that. And if it's not...